I'm here to talk to you about Utopia. Yes, the most wonderful state of affairs imaginable. The all-female workplace. A Shangri-La that you, with your bland style of dress, lack of cosmetological awareness, and Spartan style of speech, are not fit to inhabit. Yes, Samantha Brick's sterling memoir, which first appeared in the Daily Mail, catfights over handbags and tears in the toilets, over there for the link, appeared not long ago and informed readers both of her personal experiences along with the nature of female psychology and what exactly goes on behind the sisterhood. Few articles caused me to chuckle more than this one, which is why I'm only too happy to share the lowlights with you. Brick headhunted to achieve her utopian dream, a female-only company with happy, harmonious women working together in an area devoid of men. But what happened was that their new business was ruined by infighting and destructive jealousy. Her idealistic vision was swiftly shattered by the nightmare reality of what she calls constant, and the word sound rhymes with itch, itchiness, surging hormones, unchecked emotion, attention-seeking, and fashion rivalries so fierce that it split her company apart. Yet the end result of her sexist and, I'm sad to say, perfectly legal endeavor was emotional and financial ruin. She was a TV producer who decided that the industry was an old boys club. Whatever. But fantasized about how great it would be if there were no men. So eventually she decided to create a woman-only company in which smart, intelligent, career-oriented women could work harmoniously, free from the bravado of the opposite sex. Is she right? Of course not. Had she come to me, I would have set her straight. I would have let her know the great pain and misfortune that she would be experiencing, and I would have predicted a drama-ocracy. But advice from wandering cauldrons of politically incorrect commentary simply is not appreciated these days. Well, her loss. At any rate, she says that she should have known disaster was coming because she knew all kinds of mean girls in school who bullied her, and she knew how nasty groups of women can become. She set up shop in Surrey with a team of 7 staff. They were all enthused by the idea of working together, but still insisted on very high salaries. And then, right after they started, 2 cliques developed. Those who had worked with each other before and those who were producing new ideas. And from there, all the queen bee ridiculous female stuff ensued, brewed, then bubbled, and ate through their social fabric. Turned out to be more of a moronocracy, if you ask me. Most days would bring an appointed moment where some people were invited out to lunch and some weren't. Nothing explicit was ever said, but the cutting rejection was obvious enough. Yeah, and that's why female bosses prefer female employees, because if you don't invite a guy like me out to lunch, we're like, so wait. So that means that I don't have to listen to all your little personal vignettes. So social exclusion just doesn't work with men like it does with women. Even when we all went out to the pub after work, she says, strict divisions remained, made clear according to who sat next to whom and who would be civil or not to whom. Clothes were a huge source of catty comments, from sly remarks about people looking overdressed to the merits of fake tan application. Breck always felt sorry for somebody who naively showed off a new purchase, because everybody would coo appreciatively to their face, then harshly criticize them as soon as their back was turned. The office was like a Milan catwalk, but with the competitiveness of a Miss World contest and the low cunning of a mud wrestling bout. A fashion spat ended one friendship when Sarah and our young development researcher received the same surprise Christmas gift, a 900-pound Chloe Paddington bag. When they clocked their matching bags in the office, it was like pistols were drawn at noon. They forced a few compliments, but relations never recovered to the expense of my company. Now, I can relate to all this because I have the exact same bag here off camera, and reading this just made me bleed inside, and I was so jealous that those 2 girls had the exact same bag that I have here. Oh, I would show it to you. It's just I don't want to make you jealous too. That's the only reason. But it didn't take long for the office to become divided between the girls who wore makeup and those who didn't. Comments typically from the former were, doesn't she know what spot cover-up is? And has she ever met a hairbrush before? Whereas comments from the latter were, people on the morning bus must think she's a prostitute. The obsession with appearance meant that nearly all the staff were perpetually on a diet. If I bought a tuna mayonnaise baguette for lunch, I would hear staff commenting on what a pig I was. I'm a size 12. It doesn't matter what size she is. She's the boss, and they shouldn't be saying anything about her. But what do I know? Two of the skinny girls snidely said about the largest girl, I would kill myself if I ever got that fat. One of the assistants got revenge on the food police for several weeks by pretending to buy them fat-free lattes, which, when they were in fact, full fat. In the article, what I found most valuable was the complete inefficiency and Arctic desert of production angle. Indeed, she notes that employees considered it perfectly acceptable to miss work for beauty treatments. One girl regularly came in late because she was having her hair colored, and when Brick mentioned this to her, she blew up at her in outrage. Though she had a reason, Brick notes that a lot of them just would huff and say, "That's when my train gets here," when they asked her when she would ask why they were late. Now, in my view, there's only one way to handle such persons: dock them for every single minute that they miss. That's the best de-princessing procedure that you can come up with. But Brick tells us more on her theme of unmotivation and scam nation. I was often out trying to win contracts, but back at the office, work became an afterthought. It came second to conversations about shopping and boyfriends and diets. Oh, and spiteful comments from two researchers who were sharpening their acrylic nails against another staff member, Natasha. 6 months after the company's inception, tensions piled up over when one of the researchers took Natasha's laptop and refused to give it back. That day I was forced to cancel my meetings and return to the office to patch up relations. Though our general manager, Sarah, was there, she refused to get involved because she didn't want to have to play the bad cop. Well, if you don't want to be the bad cop, one has to wonder why you even go to work at all. Well, I suppose I'm only asking that, though, because I'm an insensitive male. But friends, we'll discuss more of these days of high emotion in our next installment of Chapins Inferno. But the only thing I'm going to warn is you better bring a hanky, because it's going to be emotion producing.